This is the InnovaBuzz Podcast, helping smart businesses be even more innovative.
Hi, I'm Jürgen Strauss from InnovaBuzz. Welcome to episode number 90 of the InnovaBuzz Podcast, designed to help smart businesses committed to innovation, service, and modern marketing become even more innovative. In this first episode of our Model the Master series, our featured master is Troy Dean, co-founder of WP Elevation and RockStar Empires. Troy has been a role model for me for many years and was the person who encouraged me to begin the InnovaBuzz podcast. As a member of both the WP Elevation and RockStar Empires communities, I've had the privilege of observing Troy's work up close and sometimes very personal. So I thought it fitting to begin this Model the Masters series of the InnovaBuzz podcast by asking the question, what would Troy Dean do? Let's begin with a little background on Troy's journey so far to put this discussion into perspective. Troy set out to be a performer, a rock star as he put it in our first interview, and landed his first job as a voiceover artist. He played in bands in his spare time, feeding his love of music, and when other musicians wanted to launch a website in the early days of the web, Troy helped them out, having always been curious about this new evolving online world. One thing led to another, and Troy started a digital marketing agency and learnt how to run a successful business in the process. After developing a couple of WordPress plugins with a developer partner, he discovered the leverage of ongoing sales from one piece of work and began to work on ways to help other WordPress consultants improve their business to be more profitable and give them the life that they wanted or wished. At that time, WP Elevation was launched as a membership site, and it has since grown in 4 years to be an online learning community of over 700 members, with a team of 5 coaches and 6 mentors supporting those members who are distributed all around the globe. WP Elevation has had a significant impact on those members' business. I know, because I have been a member of WP Elevation since the very early days when there were less than 40 members, and I know how much it's contributed to the success of my business and to the success of many of those other 700 plus members. Modelling from the success of WP Elevation, Troy then partnered with one of the coaches from the program, Christina Romero, to launch RockStar Empires, which teaches the very process that makes WP Elevation so successful. RockStar Empire's mission is to help the members of RockStar Empires build a successful online empire of their own and become the rock star in your field. Troy now leads 2 very successful 7-figure businesses that are having a huge impact on so many other businesses and on the lives of the people who run those businesses. So, what makes Troy Dean successful? What drives him? What can we learn from his success and from his approach? Let's begin by examining some environment factors. What values and beliefs can we attribute to Troy? What do we know about his vision as articulated for the businesses that he has launched and that he runs? The one thing, perhaps, that stands out before all else for me is Troy's unwavering commitment to focusing on adding value to the customer and delivering that value in a profitable and sustainable way. Consider WP Elevation's stated vision, which is the first business accelerator program designed specifically for WordPress consultants. I've also seen him help WordPress freelancers build an enjoyable, sustainable and profitable business. Now, what I like about both of those statements is how they address a very clear and specific niche target market, as well as expressing the benefits that WP Elevation is going to provide to that market. Troy's values include those of service and of connection. In fact, in our podcast in episode 12, in that interview, he mentioned that he was driven to connecting with as many people at one time that he could. Hence the drive to perform, to build online communities, and to present to large audiences in the many keynote presentations that he does. His value of service is demonstrated by his behaviour of an unwavering customer focus and actively listening to his community to understand their goals, their aspirations, their challenges, and working towards solutions to their problems. The RockStar Empire membership product was developed specifically because of the need that Troy recognised for helping businesses of all kinds, not just WordPress consultants, take their knowledge and package it up as a product to sell online. Here are some beliefs that I'm going to attribute to Troy. Without a doubt, he believes in serving others and providing value. He has a burning desire to make a positive difference to others in the world. Many times I've heard or seen him comment on others' success in the programs he runs with the comment, "That is why I get out of bed every morning." Beyond that, he has a mindset of abundance. On a recent podcast, he likened business confidence to riding a bike. Once you've learned it and mastered it, you know you can get back on the bike and ride at any time. So he doesn't fear loss. He is confident that he can recreate something of value at any time. This confidence is, in my view, critical to taking the massive action and not being afraid of risks or of making so-called mistakes. That's the other belief that stands out for me, his preparedness to take risks and to see every failure, so-called, as a learning opportunity. In fact, just this morning I was on a webinar with Troy and he praised one of the WP Elevation members for taking massive action, saying that in order to learn, you must get your hands dirty, get in the trenches and figure things out as you go, improve as you learn. Another belief that I'll attribute to Troy is that business should be fun. It definitely looks to me like Troy's having great fun in his business, even though there would certainly be challenging periods, just like in any business. It's the fun and the rewards which sustain him and his team through those periods. I want to move on to some structural aspects of how Troy operates. His focus, as I've said, is always on delivering value, and it's delivering that value in the most effective and efficient way, and endeavouring to do that, he aims to systemize everything, to develop a turnkey system that can be scaled and applied to other situations. Just like taking the WP Elevation program and applying it to the RockStar Empires community. Now, like me, Troy is definitely a systems and process devotee, and we discussed this in detail together with David Jennings of System Hub in episode 36 of the InnovaBuzz podcast. So you might like to go back and listen to that if you haven't already heard it. An important point about his systems approach, though, is that he has a clear why about his business and what the purpose of the systems and processes are in delivering value to his customers in a way that is profitable and sustainable. He also has a clear roadmap for the business that drives what systems are implemented and what systems are documented. So while he is a systems devotee, it's based on the needs of the business and the customers he serves. He believes that if something isn't done right in the business, then it's the system that's at fault, not the people. Fix the system and it will fix the error. Another structural aspect that stands out for me is how Troy is always investing in systems and equipment to improve and deliver a better experience to his customers and community. If you take a look at the RockStar Empires Facebook community and watch some of the recent videos there, you'll note the very slick professional productions, the result of an investment in a high-quality recording studio to produce TV-quality videos for both webinars and training programs. Let's take a look at Troy's behaviour and what he does that makes him successful. And I'm going to break this down through the lens of the 5 success principles that I've spoken about before, particularly in episode 66 of the InnovaBuzz podcast. The first success principle is knowing your outcome. So Troy has a clearly stated vision and mission for his business that I've already discussed. And this vision and mission is clearly articulated to the entire community. In fact, if you visit the RockStar Empire's community on Facebook, you'll see much of the information Troy shares and see how transparent he is about the goals of the business and the roadmap to get there. Troy maintains a relentless focus on the vision, the mission, and the goals of the business, and he is almost obsessive about the customer and the user experience, delivering a customized user experience to the members of those programs. The second success principle is taking massive action. Troy is a firm believer in the lean startup principle. Get proof of concept early on with a minimum viable product before investing a lot of time and money developing something further. In other words, taking massive imperfect action. His next step is to get that minimum viable product into real customers' hands. Now, although it's a minimum viable product, he aims for excellence, to deliver massive value, and then listens to the customer's feedback to determine what can be improved, what's missing, and where that minimum viable product doesn't deliver value. He also gets out in front of people, an audience who cares, to present his ideas and information with a focus on delivering massive amounts of value. So he's feeding his need to be a rock star right there and then. And of course, he does deliver that ongoing value which can generate a recurring revenue. The third success principle is to calibrate your progress. I've already mentioned how important customer feedback is to Troy, and he's constantly gathering input and feedback from his community and customers. He likes to do things differently and be unique, but not just for the sake of being different and unique, for the purpose of better serving his customers. Troy is always testing new things with the purpose of delivering even more value. Now, he is a self-confessed shiny object syndrome sufferer, and we both have that in common. And this is one challenge that needs to be balanced with testing better ways of doing things. The fourth success principle is behavioural flexibility. So Troy uses the feedback and input that he gathers from his customers to implement continuous learning and improvement both personally and within the business. He's determined and committed to succeed and to help his customers succeed as well. In fact, his customers' success is one of the key measures of his own business success. And the fifth success principle is to have a mindset of excellence. Now, Troy clearly aims for excellence, but not perfection. So as I said, he's keen to get things into the hands of real customers. At the same time, his focus is on the delivery of exceptional value. Troy often says, blow them away with huge amounts of value. He's committed to be the expert, yet to be transparent about what does work and how he's put it together so that it works, and on the other hand, what isn't yet working and what might be less than ideal within his business. And the aim there is to continually improve and up his game. And of course, his focus on the user experience is a key part of that mindset of excellence. Many people have contributed to Troy's success. He surrounds himself with quality team members who share his vision and passion for the business and serving the customers. He aligns himself with influential people in related industry, firstly by providing them some value to something that they're doing. So it's very much a giving attitude consistent with his abundant mindset. He has built a community that is supportive and positive and engaged and equally driven to succeed, and he inspires that community to be the best and to give their best. Now I'd like to wrap up this first episode of Model the Masters, What Would Troy Dean Do?, with 5 key tips from my analysis of Troy and his business. So number 1, have, or if you don't have already, develop a really clear business vision that's compelling, that's focused on your target customer and on giving them an exceptional experience. Number 2, take massive, imperfect action. Get in the trenches like Troy says. Get your hands dirty. This is the best way to learn your craft and become the expert at something. Number 3, systemize everything with the aim of developing a profitable, sustainable, turnkey business that provides exceptional value to your clients and is not dependent on you to do that. Number 4, business should be fun. I should have had a balloon to pop there or a little blower thingy, but I don't. I wasn't prepared for that. Business should be fun. If it's not fun, why are you doing it? That's a key part of Troy's why. The fun and the rewards will sustain you through challenging periods that every business experiences. And number 5, listen to the customer and consider feedback and input as part of your continuous improvement process so that you keep providing more exceptional value than anyone else in your target field. I hope you enjoyed the first episode of Model the Masters and learning from What Would Troy Dean Do? The show notes for this episode will be at innovabiz.com.au/mmtroydean. That is MMTROYDEAN. Based on Model Master Troy Dean. So all lowercase, all one word, innovabiz.com.au/mmtroydean. You'll also find contact information for getting in touch with Troy there and links to the various websites that I mentioned. We'd love to hear about your biggest takeaway from this episode, what you've learnt from this analysis of Troy Dean and the action you'll take as a result. Put them in the comments section of the blog post and I'm sure we'll generate a great discussion there. Maybe Troy will even come back and contribute himself. Let's see. If you haven't already done so, head on over to iTunes or Stitcher or Pocket Casts and subscribe to the podcast, the InnovaBuzz Podcast, so you'll never miss a future episode. Now, if you're listening to this, then I'm sure you've already left a review for us there. If not, I know where to find you. Seriously though, we're always welcoming feedback and reviews, so please do let us know how we are doing. And if there's anything you'd like us to cover or questions you want answered on a future InnovaBuzz podcast or someone you'd like to learn more about in a future Model the Masters episode, please send those ideas to us. Until next time, I'm Jürgen Strauss from InnovaBiz. Remember, be awesome and keep innovating.